Getting our first look at conditions in Lake Catherine in eastern New Orleans. And you may recall the city called for some evacuations in those areas. And now we're seeing some of the coastal flooding in that area. Look at that. Wow. That is outside the levee protection system in Orleans, along with Venetian Isles and, of course, Irish Bayou. They're all areas that commonly flood whenever this happens. We do want to thank Kirk Jacobs, formerly of WWL-TV, for sending in that great video for us. Wow. Definitely some almost whitecaps there with the wave action that's happening out at Lake Catherine. Of course, a lot of the houses in that area are elevated. It's something that residents there really kind of know how to handle in situations like this whenever conditions aren't
Right, that is
really
the typical
I mean,
Lake Catherine
right.
house or camp. Same with Venetian Isles and Irish Bayou. And it was yesterday that they said, hey, you know what, we gotta close the floodgates, so you're gonna have to either stay or go. Presumably, a lot of people just rode it out.
I think so. I mean, that's the trend for a lot of people in areas.
Those areas.
Yeah,
right?
especially in the other areas that we're seeing where the flooding is happening as well, because they're kind of used to it. Again, these are conditions that they sort of expect whenever we have storms that aren't so bad.
Right, they've got the generators, their houses are built way up, that sort of thing. So at this point, no reports of any widespread damage, and that's a wonderful thing. Although you look at that church and that's, that's pretty low. So perhaps that's taken on some water. Not sure about that. But at this point, also no reports of injuries. We've had a couple of rescues, but we haven't heard of any injuries, and the rescues really have been nominal. Just a few here and there made by the Coast Guard, and I think we said 2 were made by the Cajun Navy. That could have changed entirely, but just a few, they said earlier. And so so far a very successful response.
Absolutely. It seems like people are taking the advice that officials are handing out. They're saying, stay in place if you have all your supplies, if you're prepared, if you know what to do, if you don't think the conditions are going to get bad enough. Some people did that. Other people got out. And then, of course, we had those mandatory evacuations earlier today as those tides, started to come up in Lafourche, not Lafourche, Terrebonne.
Right.
In Terrebonne and Plaquemines. We had the 2 areas where we had those mandatory evacuations.
And we've been able to sort of breathe a sigh of relief as we've watched the river levels or the predicted surge levels go down.
Absolutely.
Both at the river and now at the Mississippi River and now some of the tributaries. It's been good news so far, so we hope that continues.